Hey, it's Rob and welcome to Axel's Garage. We're out here, this is Cosmo. We get a little confused between the two identical XJs that the twins have. And we don't know a lot about the AC history in Cosmo. Now, when we bought the truck, the guy that had it said he didn't use the AC, he didn't think it worked. And when we turn the AC on, the compressor's not kicking on. Everything seems to be intact, so we have no idea whether the system has any pressure even or not. So we just want to, I'm not an AC guy, but I have some AC tools, a slight amount of AC knowledge, not a whole lot. This is all new to me. You know, I'm just starting, but so far we've had 2 mild successes throwing gauges on and getting AC units, right? In the Suburban, charging it and changing the Schrader valve. In the IROC, we just had to charge it. Oh, and we found a leak in the conversion fitting from R12 to R134. And now we're gonna take a look at this one. So the first thing we're gonna do is see if there's any pressure on the system. So let me take the service ports off. All right, so we got one there. Yeah, you hold that, Steve-O. And then we got one up here. All right, and Steve-O's out here with us. The big dummy's behind the camera. All right, so we got the fatter one is the high pressure, I believe, and the lower one is the smaller one is the low pressure. So you got two fittings there. So I'm gonna go over to this one here, and there's a little Schrader valve in it. Right, Steve-O, you know what a Schrader valve is?
No.
That's like the valve in a car tire that you push in. So we're gonna come over here, and I'm just gonna give it a little. All right, so there is pressure in the system, which is great, because there's pressure in it, that means there's at least something in the system. So we're gonna turn around and we are going to see if we can get the compressor to turn on just momentarily. So we're gonna take this fitting off here, which should have some kind of locking tab on it. We're gonna pull this off and we're gonna jump this out. And by jumping this out, it's gonna trick this system into thinking it has enough Freon in it for the compressor to kick on. And we just wanna do it for a second to see if the compressor will actually kick on. So I gotta figure out how to get that off, and I can't really see it. Let me get a flashlight. Here we go. All right, that was a little tricky to get off. And you got these 2 terminals, so we need to jump these 2 terminals out in order to make a connection. Go in the house and get a paper clip. All right, I got Steve-O going to find a paper clip. So what I'm going to do now, got a paper clip? Nice. So what I'm going to do in the meantime, even though he's out here, but we're gonna hook up our high and low pressure gauges. So we can get an idea of what we have in the system. And it looks like we got about 80 pounds. All right, so 80's not bad. It could just be a slow leak. 70 pounds maybe it's 70. Well, on the outside one, there's the 100, there's the 0, so 50 would be between 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds in there. All right, these are all shut. So we don't want to be using the manifold for anything right now except for just reading the pressure. So with the paper clip that Steve-O got, I'm just gonna bend it so that we can get them both in at the same time. And we just want to trip this out to see, just like that, just to see if that compressor will come on. So we're gonna go in the car, Steve-O, and start it up. And we're gonna put the AC on. So start the car up first. Yo, I don't know why you have the AC on.
Get the air going.
Well, you need to put it on fan for that. got the AC on. Now all we want to do is see if this compressor, you can see right over here, Robbie, if you come in over my shoulder. Right, you can see the front of the compressor right forward, you can tell it's the clutch and it's not moving. So we jump this, and that compressor kicks on, and we know that at least works. Right, the compressor's not kicking on at all. Alright, so that's not working. That has worked for me in the past on the GM cars. So maybe it just doesn't work like that on this car. I see another harness that's got multiple wires in it coming into the back of the compressor over here. I don't know what that one, maybe this one, the idle definitely changed when I touched it. Yeah. Like it recognized that it wanted the AC on. I don't know if the clutch here is bad. If putting some Freon in, just for the argument's sake, go in again, start the car up.
Turn it on?
Yeah, start the car, not the AC.
That's what I mean.
He needs very specific instructions. Such a asshole. Tell him to put the AC on.
The AC on.
All right, don't turn everything on.
Turn off everything.
All right, I don't see the compressor doing anything. I say we waste a little refrigerant and see if we can get this compressor to kick on. I mean, we've had this, what, 6-8 months? The guy said that we bought it from, he had it a couple of years. He said he never used the AC. And there's still, you know, residual pressure in there. Like I said, it's 50, 60, 75 PSI in there. So it might work. Let's see if we can get it working. I'm willing to waste a little Freon to see if we can get it working. Let me get a can of Freon, and we'll be right back. All right, so this is a partial can, probably about a third or so. These are the self-sealing cans from Walmart, the SuperTech. I buy them when we are...
A while ago.
Oh, yeah. Well, I buy them when we travel, when we're out of state, because a can this size in New York is about $12.99 to anywhere to $15. Walmart, out of state, when we travel up down south, especially Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, it's like $4.88. And Rural King down in Virginia, it's the same price. It's in $4 and change. They don't have the self-sealing cans. Walmart does. So you got to use this self-sealing adapter thing, which we sometimes have an issue with. So the whole self-sealing thing doesn't always work well, but you lose a little when you're connecting it. But the nice thing is you can save part of a can. So I think if I get a new one of these, we'll be in better shape as far as how it hooks up, because then we could actually use the valve that's on it. Next weekend, we go to Pennsylvania next weekend. We'll have to hit a Walmart in Pennsylvania next weekend. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this in. Get it on fast so that I only lose a little bit, because this valve stays open. Then I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to bleed the air out. So, got the air bled out of the yellow line. Now I'm going to open up my low side. Let's see if we'll get some in. They say shaking doesn't really work too well. Like I said, this was only about a third full. And there's still a little left in it. The can is cold now. So I'm going to warm it up with my hands. In the meantime, Steve-O can start the car. we definitely have compressor that's not coming on. Alright, I'm just going to try to get the rest of this can in, being it was only a little bit, but I think we got some kind of electrical issue, which could be this should be the low pressure switch here. It could be the wires going into the back of the thermostat, the high pressure fitting, and then I don't see the electrical connection for the compressor. I have to look for that as well. Oh, I was reading the gauge wrong. So at 70, it was actually at 10 psi. I was looking at the outside of the gauge instead of the inside of the gauge. So the psi is actually 10, and now it's up to 60. And it's exactly the same on the high and the low side. Which it should be. So we got 60 in it. Compressor's still not turning on. It's the idle. It kicks the idle up a little bit. Alright, I see a little harness back there, which goes to the compressor, which is right here. And it's a single wire to the compressor. I wanted to see if the clutch spun free from the compressor, and it does. Okay, so where are we at? Well, we know that the system is holding pressure. We know we got, well, I'll call it 58 psi in the system right now. And in the meantime, I'll be able to remember that, okay, it's 58 psi. Now, why isn't the compressor turning on? I'm going to have to research the electrical system for the compressor and make sure we're getting whatever power the compressor needs to activate the magnet for the clutch to pull and the compressor to turn on. So we don't know if it's a mechanical malfunction with the clutch. We don't know if the compressor is bad, if the clutch is bad, if the wiring going to it is bad, or if there's a relay or something that needs to turn this system on. It could be something simple like a relay that's just not turning the system on. So that's something I'm gonna have to research, and this will be the end of part one. Anybody have any, like, I'm not an AC guy, AC is all new to me, but I figured this is a pretty basic system, I would guess, the 2000 XJ, and hopefully we can figure out what component is bad. If there is a component that's bad, it could just be a power issue, a broken wire, who the hell knows? So I'm gonna have to research how this whole system works, probably when there's more light too, so I could see actually what wires are going to the compressor. I might have to take some stuff off so I could dig in, poke around in there, and make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. But that's it, video one on the AC, so we know that the potential is there for the AC to work in this car, which is good. I would have liked for it to come on, right? Would have liked for it to come on. That would have been nice if it would have clicked on, but no such luck. So we got lucky with two. Third one, it's gonna be a little bit more work. Let me know down below. Thanks for watching. I'm tired and hot.